Hello! Welcome to Squid Essays. Inking your academic pen. My name is Julie and I will be your instructor as we read through Women and Literature. The article source is embedded in the video description below. Feel free to read along. Please note that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay for as little as $10 a page at Squid Essays. The link is in the description. Table of Contents 1. Introduction 2. Historically established role of women in society 3. Flourishing of women's writing 4. Progress of women in American prose 5. Distinguished women among American poets 6. Contribution of women into the literature for children 7. Conclusion 8. Bibliography. Women have always struggled for equal rights with men. The feminist movement commenced several centuries ago and lasts till our days. With the course of time, women managed to prove they can be as good as men almost in all spheres of life. Due to all the efforts in social activity, women altered the preconceived opinion towards themselves and achieved significant results. Today women succeeded almost in all spheres of life. Literature is not an exception. Modern literature covers all topics and does not make any difference between male and female authors. However, several centuries ago the situation was almost contrary. The flourishing of women's writing happened in the 18th century, when more and more publications of women's works appeared. At those times women tended to elucidate topics connected solely with women and their life. Writing helped them to prove themselves, to express their points of view of some social issues, perhaps to give a piece of advice to others, basing on their own opinion. For a long time women did not have favorable conditions for prolific writing, having it as a hobby and not being paid for it, depending on men and without any support. Their jobs were mainly to cook, clean, sew, take care of the children and keep the house in order. They were treated as a material possession rather than a human being that could think and act for themselves, and were generally looked upon as a decorative member of the household. Women were robbed of their true identities. Walters, 12. In order to attain their aim and to publish their works, women had to hide under masculine or bisexual pseudonyms, such as George Sand, Amandine-Aurore-Lucile Dupin, or Currer B, Charlotte Bronte. With the course of time the role of women in society changed and they won the recognition in the literary circles due to their talent and diligence. So, women's contribution in the advance of literature and the popularization of female subject in literature is indisputable. Such works as The Female Advocate, a poem occasioned by writing Mr. Duncombe's Feminine written by Mary Scott in the 18th century and A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf drew attention to the role of women in society and, particularly, in literature. Moreover, it was Virginia Woolf who devoted many of her works to the research of the conditions of women's writing and expressed the opinion that the woman needs £500 a year and a room of her own in order to be able to write. Money and peace, symbolized by these two requirements, are the necessary preconditions for every creative process, regardless the gender. However, the inequality between men and women meant that difficulties were much more formidable for women. Woolf, 30. She claimed that in order to prosper women had to kill the monster, that is to break all the stereotypes that limited their freedom and made them the possessions of men. Woolf, 34. For a long time the phenomenon of women's writing was considered unstable and caused many disputes. Numerous achievements of women in the literary circles prove the inconsistence of these opinions. The progress of women in American literature can be a broad example. Among 10 American Nobel Prize winners for literature 2 are women, Toni Morrison and Pearl Buck. Toni Morrison, most famous for her book Song of Solomon, Beloved and the Bluest Eye, was the first African-American Nobel Prize winner for literature. In 1988 she got the Pulitzer Prize for fiction for her novel Beloved, and in 2001 she was proclaimed one of the 30 most powerful women in America. Her books are praised for very vivid images of African Americans and detailed description of their lives. Pearl Buck is well known for her books about China and Chinese rural life. She also won the Pulitzer Prize in 1931 for her work The Good Earth, that is considered her best novel out of more than 85 books of various genres. Women writers succeeded both in prose and in poetry. American poetry of the second half of the 20th century acquired such distinguished authors as Mona Van Duyn, Amy Clempitt, Mae Swenson, Gertrude Schnackenberg, Audre Lorde, Rita Dove, Maxine Kumin, Louise Glock, Carolyn Kaiser, Denise Levertov, Joy Graham, many of which became Pulitzer Prize winners. It is essential to define the contribution of women into the literature for children. Such worldwide famous names as Mary Elizabeth Mapes Dodge, Laura Ingalls Wilder, Astrid Lindgren, J.K. Rowling belong to women who entered the literary world as classics of infantile literature. J.K. Rowling, particularly, became the first writer who earned $1 billion due to her books. Her fantasy series about Harry Potter became a bestseller and was translated into 65 languages. By her books, J.K. Rowling fascinated not only children but thousands of grown-ups as well. Her books get awards and are sold before their official release. To make a conclusion, I believe that finally women realize their ambitions. Nowadays women writers are absolutely equal with men, they get acknowledgement on equal terms and are free to write on any topic. Their books are as much read as men's and they get numerous prizes for their fruitful work. Women's concerns are still an important issue in women's literature, nevertheless female points of view on political, social and cultural questions are appreciated. Without women the world of literature would be incomplete and short of masterpieces that radically change the established views. References: Abel, Elizabeth, Writing and Sexual Difference. University of Chicago Press, 1982. Allen, Ann Taylor, Feminism, Social Science, and the Meanings of Modernity, The Debate on the Origin of the Family in Europe and the United States, 1860 to 1914. The American Historical Review, derived July, 18, 2007 from http://www.historycooperative.org/ journal/ r/ /AH001085.html Gilbert, Sandra M., and Susan Gubar, The Mad Woman in the Attic, The Woman Writer and the 19th Century Literary Imagination. Yale University Press, 1979. Keohane, Nannerl. Review, Moi, Toriel. What is a Woman? And Other Essays. Duke University Alumni Magazine No. 30 Sept. 2000, derived July, 18, 2007 from http://www.dukemagazine.duke.edu/ alumni/ dm30/ books.html. O'Connor Karen, Contributions of Women, Literature, Dillon Press, 1984. Shinjay Thelma, Worlds Within Women, Myth and Myth-Making in Fantastic Literature by Women, Greenwood Press, 1986. Bax, Patricia Meyer, The Female Imagination, A Literary and Psychological Investigation of Women's Writing. George Allen and Unwin, 1976. Spencer, Jane, The Rise of the Woman Novelist. Oxford, Basil Blackwell, 1986. Steptoe B. Robert, Black American Literature at Year 2000, A New Presence, derived July, 18, 2007 from http://usinfo.state.gov/ journal/ ITSV/ 0200/ I/ Steptoe.htm. Van Spanker and Catherine, An Outline of American Literature, derived July, 18, 2007 from http://www.let.rug.nl/ uses/ lit/ ch7_p5.htm. Walters, Margaret. Feminism, A Very Short Introduction. Oxford, 2005. Woolf, Virginia, A Room of One's Own, Granada Publishing, London, 1985. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you enjoyed learning about women and literature as much as I did. Kindly remember that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay at Squid Essays for as little as $10. The link is in the description. See you next time.